Yo, what's going on, everybody out there? This is Popular Stranger, and we are back today with episode number 30 of my Northwestern Dynasty in NCAA Football 14. This is season number 2, week number 7, and we are on the road at TCF Bank Stadium to take on the Minnesota Golden Gophers. They come into this game with a record of 3-2. They are 0-1 overall in the Big Ten. Their one Big Ten loss, and look at that terrible pass by Trevor Siemian on the opening drive. So we're going to get a quick turnover, not very good, and then they're going to get a nice run here, pick up the first down, and much more right after getting that turnover. But Minnesota comes into this game with a 3-2 record overall, 0-1 in the Big Ten. Their one Big Ten loss was to Iowa. They got stomped 38-7. Their only wins are against Tennessee State, San Jose State, and New Mexico State. I would say they're having a good season against the state schools, but their other loss was to Arizona State. But look at that. We do hold them to a field goal after the turnover, so the damage is minimal, and we're going to get the ball back, looking to either tie or take the lead in this game. We come in after another brutal loss to a very good team with a 4-2 record. 1-1 in the Big Ten. Again, the two losses have been to number 2 Ohio State at the time, who is now ranked number 1, and number 2 Alabama at the time. They are still a top 10 team, but recently lost to Texas A&M. I believe it was last week when they lost. But again, we're 4-2, 1-1 in the Big Ten. The one Big Ten win was against Nebraska. Our other 3 wins were against Notre Dame, who's a top 10 team, Cal, and Syracuse. We're driving down the field here. We're going to get inside the 5-yard line off the pitch. Going to run a little fake jet sweep there to Trayvon Green. He gets stuffed at the goal line, but it wouldn't matter because he'll score on the very next play. A draw right there, spreading out the defense and opening up the hole right at the goal line. And we do take a 7-3 lead. Not too many scores or upsets in this week of football. Auburn would beat Ole Miss 44-42. That was a battle of top 25 teams. And in the battle of Florida, Florida State loses to Miami 35-31. Both of those teams were also ranked inside the top 25. Forgot to get to the stats in this game. Not too much sticks out. Minnesota's averaging about 24 points per game, 319 total yards. We're averaging about 28.7 points per game and 338 yards. Again, neither of us really ranked in the top 50 in either of those statistical categories. Our defense is still holding up, though, ranked 12th in the nation at 280.5 yards allowed, and the rush defense is still number 1. The amount did go up, but again, still number 1, allowing 60.2 rushing yards per game. And we're going to score a touchdown there with Cameron Dickerson, I believe his name was. He's another guy, so we had somebody last week coming off the bench and scoring a touchdown, and here's another guy. So that's good to see that our guys who don't normally start are still finding their way in the end zone. Again, a lot of our wide receivers are either seniors or juniors, so we could be losing a lot of guys come next season, especially if Pierre Youngblood decides to leave us early. But we do get a turnover there, already with a 14-3 lead in the second half. Trayvon Green is going to pick up a first down, and at this point, I'm just trying to keep the ball on the ground, burn as much clock as possible, though it's only even the third quarter, and continue to feed our Heisman hopeful Trayvon Green, who's going to get inside the 10-yard line here. And then Simeon's going to drop back, pass, gets pressured from behind, but is able to get rid of the ball and find Christian Jones for an 8-yard touchdown. Simeon had a very good game, 13 for 15 at this point. That one interception did hurt at the time, but we're now up 21-3, and not looking back on that turnover, just continuing to try to play some defense here. Real quick, something I wanted to mention involving Northwestern in reality, and that's that their senior, he was a senior halfback, Vendrick Mark. He was on my team last year in this dynasty and ended up graduating, but in real life, he was only able to play 3 games this season just due to injuries. And good news coming out last week, or earlier this week, I should say, that he was granted a 5th season of eligibility because of his medical issues, getting hurt and only playing in 3 games. So It's pretty awesome that he gets to come back and play next season. I'll look forward to watching him. He's a really good halfback, and with him and Trayvon Green in the same backfield with Trevor Siemian, I think Nebraska is going to be. I'm sorry, not Nebraska. I think Northwestern is going to become more of a passing threat with just some really good running backs, because Siemian, is a good passer, whereas Kane Coulter is more of a scrambler. But I don't think they'll be using that two-quarterback kind of offense any longer now that Kane Coulter has graduated and Siemian will be back. So I look forward. Hopefully Northwestern can turn things around, because that was a pretty bad finish to the season last year, dropping 7 or 8 games in a row. So you see, we pretty much got this one wrapped up. It's 21-3, under 2 minutes to go. Trayvon Green is going to cross the goal line for the second time today. The final score would be 28-10. They kind of got a garbage touchdown at the end, but we get the win, improving to 5-2 overall, and we have a bye week next week, so that means I'll be bringing you guys a recruiting episode, so look out for that. We'll go over the stats, the league leaders, the Heisman candidates, the rankings, all that good stuff. So make sure you do click that thumbs up if you enjoyed this episode. I really would appreciate it. Check out that playlist if you want to see the other episodes in this series. Peace.